Hello there, how is life? Recently I have been building this theme park, except I didn't because I overwrote the save file, which I've already explained about 5 times on this channel, but as you can see I've rebuilt everything just slightly differently. As you can see, here's the entrance. It's very similar, but the entrance sign is slightly different, and it still doesn't have a name, this theme park, and it's also slightly different colour as well. I believe that, the trees are also different, and I think, the guest services is not on the inside, or is not on this bit, so I believe I moved it to the inside of these walls. Yes, as you can see there. No one's inside though. Alright, and then first of all you'll notice this street changed a lot. Obviously there's the chief beef there and the weird tree looking building, which is just another guest services. But inside the chief beef, instead of making it a restaurant which was like a sit down one, I made it like like whatever it was before. I've changed it, and let's go inside. Alright, so it's got not only chief beef, there's also hot dog squad pizza pen as well in there, and chief beef. It's quite dark in there, but I think that adds to the atmosphere. Here we have the Just a Memento. I've also made all of the buildings a lot taller, and the water feature in the middle is changed to a planter, because I don't know why. The Looney Balloons is, again, slightly taller, and around the other side there's the hat's fantastic, and this, just a bunch of different shops. I felt like the other, on the other park I did, it didn't really have as much tallness to it to make people feel small. Now if we go up here, this is basically the same, I think. This bit's slightly different because one of my friends very kindly informed me that the trees I used were not very Mediterranean, despite the game calling them Mediterranean palm trees. So instead I've changed it to what are more Greek trees, apparently. And here's the entrance sign. It's basically the same. The colours might be slightly different, but I think I've also built it a bit taller. And I've also made some adjustments to the coaster, which you can see there. I've made it so that the layout is fully underground, and oh gosh, there's a spoiler for later on in the episode there. Don't look. Okay, well, apparently I'm going towards it now. But no, don't look at it. Don't, yes, okay, good. I forgot why I zoomed in here. But yes, this is pre-recorded, but I forgot why I zoomed in. There's gonna be, I've already started construction on a ride in that location, so that might be why. And then if we go down this path, but for some reason, actually, apparently I changed my mind. So the ride is now fully underground, and I will get onto that ride in just a minute, less than a minute apparently. Here I am making the entrance sign to the ride. This footage is sped up a lot more than the last video because there is so much to get through, and that's purely because I'm having to do 2 real-time sections, and also like other stuff which would have been already done if this were the old park that didn't get deleted. So I wanted this entrance sign. I'll talk a bit about the theme of this ride and stuff in a bit once I reveal the name of it. But I wanted this entrance to be like grand and like the Mount Olympus entrance sign. I wanted it to be like that, but I also wanted it to have like a feeling of like being, the reason I'm using curtains is because I wanted it to feel like, I don't know, what's the word? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just waffling. Alright. And then I think the colour scheme I've gone for, which I will say, I've gone for a red, white and black. Well, it's more like red and black with hints of white. And I've gone with this sign for the entrance because, well, it's going down. And, yeah, I found this font, and the ride goes down. I found this font, and it looks very similar to Hyperia's font. So I don't know if I do. Oh, I don't do it. Okay, but I do write Hyperia in there. And as you can see, the name I've gone for this ride is Thanatos. In Greek mythology, Thanatos is the son of Hades. I think I'm pronouncing it right. He is the son of Hades and would take people down to the underworld. And the theme I've gone for with this coaster is that you're basically being pulled into the underworld. So I thought that was quite fitting, the name. So yeah, and now here I'm constructing like a black and red temple type thing for the station building, because otherwise it would have been a bit exposed to the weather. Except that's not a problem anymore because Planet Coaster changed that. So now in sandbox mode you can control the weather, which is nice. Although it does kind of defeat the whole purpose of the weather being added if they're going to make a setting to turn it off. Actually, I guess some people would like it. This roof is... So on my last video of this... No, on the first video of this theme park, the temple roof I had to use the same piece over and over again because it doesn't have like a proper slanted marble roof piece that or a flat marble roof piece for that matter that would go in there. I think I played around with using the gilded gold thingy, but that didn't work. So instead I found these floor pieces and off the grid pieces which could be slanted. Yeah, here I'm using the gilded things, but I decide not to. And I use these off the grid pieces which can be slanted instead. And I think they work better because it's then it's manipulated easierly. That's not a word. It's easier to manipulate, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think it does look slightly odd, kind of, where it, because it doesn't line up fully, but no one's going to be looking at the top of the roof, so I don't think that matters. The only thing people will be looking at is the bottom of the roof, which I think I cover that up anyway, with a flat marble thing, so that's fine. Oh gosh, I've got to waffle on for a lot longer now. Okay, well, maybe I should have done this in multiple shorter videos. I was debating doing that, but then I wouldn't have had enough if I didn't do it, there wouldn't have been enough in the video to make a good... It wouldn't have been enough to say we've got much done, you know? I wouldn't have been able to say much is done. I made this custom scenery brush called Greece Trees, with what my friend said were Greek trees. So I used that scenery brush instead of the Mediterranean one, because I trust my friend more than Planet Coaster. I don't know why. Maybe I should trust Planet Coaster more, but I don't know. Just tell me in the comments if you prefer the trees before or when they were palms. I think I preferred them when they were palms, but I want it to be a more authentic experience for the guest. So although it looked better, I prefer the... Although it looked better with the palms, but I prefer them as they are now because it's more true to what it would have been, to what it is in Greece. Since I didn't really... Okay, I'll try that again. I didn't really know what I was going to theme the queue around, because I didn't know what theming I would put in the queue. That's the right word, because it's a hard thing to add theming for. Like, how do you add theming for being sucked into the underworld, you know? So instead, I decided to add these little signs around. Originally, they all said the same text on them, but then I changed them so that it varies throughout the queue, and at the end of the queue, in the station building, I add a final one, which is, so you see here how some of the letters, the words, are in white to add emphasis to those words. I did a final one in all capitals and all white to fully emphasize that thing, to show that it was the last thing. I think it worked, but hopefully it did. So yeah, I just add these around the queue. I think I had 4 or 5 of them, maybe a bit less than that. Originally I planned to change them here, but then I just give up and I think I focus on something else. Yeah, I think at some point I focus on something else, but clearly not now. So yeah. Also, at the time of recording this, and probably the same day that it will be released to the public, it's Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hopefully you all had a good Christmas, because where I am, it's almost the end of Christmas. So, yeah. Hopefully you all got stuff you wanted, and if you didn't, then that's a shame. Anyway, back to this. So I felt like this thing was a bit bare, just being structuring out in the middle of nowhere, and it looked a bit out of place. So I thought I'd add some theming here, and I even gave the I can't speak today. I even gave the sign... I gave the name a little subtext, a slogan kind of. So how Wickerman at Alton Towers has the slogan "Be Chosen," and the Smiler has several different slogans. For this one, and for example, when Nemesis Reborn opened, the slogan of that was "Back with a Vengeance." And for this ride, Thanatos, the slogan is "The Underworld Awaits," which I thought is a nice slogan, because, it's the underworld is waiting for your arrival, you know? I've realised this is a very dark theme, and the colour scheme is very similar to Nemesis Reborn, but oh well, that's fine. Because Alton Towers can't sue me for taking inspiration. And also because this is a video game. So they can't sue me anyway. People have made recreations before. So, and this isn't even a recreation. So that's even less reason to be sued. I don't think they would even see this video, honestly. But anyway, here I decided to add lights to this. And I add a lot of them in the same place, because light. Yeah, that made so much sense, definitely. So I think I do flip the colour of the Thanatos and the Underworld Awaits so that the Thanatos is in white, because I don't think you can really see it here. I might be mistaken though. Hopefully I change the colour, because otherwise, I don't know what. But yeah, I also add this is where I add a bunch of lights to the whole park to try and light it up. And with the torches that I add around the Greek, around Mount Olympus, which I'm going to in a minute, you can see that I do something cool with the flames that come out of them in the next episode. But you'll just have to keep watching to see what that is. Just subscribe so that you don't miss that upload. Unless you don't want to subscribe and you just like search it up, because it will probably be released soon, hopefully. Because these videos, although I haven't been uploading that often recently over the past few days, like this is the second long form video I've done in a while. But yeah, these videos are quite quick to make once I've already recorded the footage, because I just have to do the voiceover, which is easy and quite fun, because I just waffle over the top of whatever's going on, and then hopefully people like it. Also, the 20 inversion roller coaster, which I made in my last video, if you haven't watched that, you should definitely watch it. I might put that into this park, although I'm not sure, because I don't know how I would theme it, or what like themed area it would go into. But I feel like I could make the theme work. Maybe. Well, no, actually, I feel like it would be a good coaster to have in the park. And actually, the coaster isn't too realistic, especially at the end. I got kind of lazy with the brake run and stuff. I could have easily added a few more inversions in there. But the recording had already gone on for long enough, and I didn't want to make it go for too long. And also, do you people like that type of video, or do you prefer the ones where I do a continuous voiceover? Because I prefer the ones with the voiceover, but that's because they're easier to edit, and most of the time they're done in one take. But the other ones take, like, depending on the length of the video, it can take quite a long time to edit. And here I'm adding a sign to the entrance in case people got confused somehow. And this is where I go and change the signs a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is where I change the signs a bit, because I think it's quite unrealistic to have all the same signs in this place. So here I've got one saying the underworld calls for your soul, and like I wanted to make them quite almost cryptic, but like not really. Like I wanted them to be obvious what it was suggesting, but not like immediately saying it. Except this one kind of does immediately say it. Hades commands you to give up your life. Just in case people didn't think it was Hades. And then this one is the one I originally planned to do in all white and stuff. But then I moved that one to the exit of the station. And I also do something really cool in the station for like a dispatch effect for the train. I did try to add more than one train to this ride, but when I made this coaster, I probably could have done it with the offload stations and stuff. But when I made this coaster, that was not there yet. It wasn't added to the game. Oh yeah, I do remember this part though. I didn't want this bit, as much as people won't see it. I've tested it, you don't really see it on ride that much, but I wanted this, some of the effects you see on ride, but not all of them. And so it's kind of a waste, but I don't know, because I like it, but no one would notice it if they weren't fully paying attention. I was going to originally add like a giant statue of Hades since this is like a big open area which I've carved out. I was originally going to add a Hades statue there, but then I decided not to, because people would be going so fast anyway, because the speed of when the coaster goes down, it's really fast. so people wouldn't notice it anyway. So there was no point to, because it wouldn't be seen. Or I mean, it would be seen, but like not properly. You know, that made no sense. But like, people wouldn't be able to take it in. You could see me get on the ride there. It's 8 times the speed. It's sped up 8 times though, so you probably didn't get a proper feel for the ride. But don't worry, we do a full tour of the ride, or a POV of the ride after this, to like so that you can fully see. It's a very short ride, but the next coaster we build in this area is less short. Now, originally with this theme, like the Hades theme, I was going to, since Hades is part of the underworld and Mount Olympus is like not the underworld, I was going to make it so that the theme is that Hades is like trying to invade Mount Olympus or something like that, but I decided just to go with each coaster being themed to a different aspect of Greek mythology, because I feel like I could do more with that. I don't want to give away too much, but the next roller coaster we build is themed around, I don't even think it's themed around the gods that much. Actually, yeah, I don't think it is at all. And what I'm doing here, okay, well, apparently not anymore. Actually, yeah, what I'm doing here is another one, is what the dispatch effect that I said about. And you may be able to see where this is going, but basically, it's just as the train leaves the station, flames burst up. And you'll see it better when we go into the real-time section at the end of this video, which shouldn't be too long away. Because that thing, yeah, the real-time section is, I think, 4 minutes long when I was recording it, and this is, there's about 5 minutes left in the video. So I've got less than a minute until the real-time section, which is good. And also, I like doing the POVs at the end of the videos, because it then means I don't have to do a proper outro. Maybe that's just because I'm lazy, but I can just have the POV as the outro. So that's good. This ride sequence thingy, although it's much better than Planet Coaster 1, maybe it's just because I was bad at using it, but I did like run into it's kind of like hard to shorten things down, especially on controller, because you have to keep pressing the same button. I don't know if it's like that with keyboard and mouse, but yeah, and I think we're about to go into the real-time section quite soon. And yeah, the dispatch effect looks really good if you're off ride. Like with other effects on this ride, you don't really see it when you're on ride. So we're going to do the real-time section soon, I think, like right about, okay, apparently not, we're adding more trees. Okay, the real-time section will come, folks, I promise. So yeah, we're adding more trees here, because it's a mountain with... Mount Olympus doesn't even have any trees on it. I don't know why I'm... Okay, well, here we are in the real-time section. As you can see, there is the Mount Olympus entrance sign and the statue of Poseidon off to the left. And as we go through, we can see Thanatos. And yes, I did change the colour. The underworld awaits. That part, I don't think you can see it that clearly. Maybe it's because I'm looking at a small square on my screen. It might be visible in the actual YouTube, because I'm using CapCut to edit this, and it looks weird if I do it in full screen. So I'm not doing that. But anyway, let's go through the queue of Thanatos, the entrance. And, yeah, The annoying thing with this is that, yes, there's a sign there, but the annoying thing with this guest perspective camera is that you're forced to stay on the path, which is annoying, especially in queues, because you can't, like, cut corners. So, yeah, the underworld calls for your soul. Very ominous. I don't know why I'm talking like I didn't make this. Like, what? What am I on about? Alright, so, this is the last poster in the queue. I may want to move that so it's slightly spread out. Now, this section of queue I think is quite cool because you can see the coaster come up sometimes if you're lucky, and that looks cool because it's like it's emerging from the underworld. Except the reason this part's round the back is because the whole idea of this ride is that you don't emerge from the underworld. So now we're gonna wait for a train to appear any day now. It really does like taking its time, doesn't it? Oh, and there we go. There is the train. Okie dokie. Now then, I'm not gonna ride it this time so that you can fully see the dispatch effect of the flames. Wait, I keep talking about this. It's one of my favourite things on this ride because I'm really proud of it. It looks really good. And, oh, it's going. You can see the flames there. So, yeah, I really like that. That's a cool effect. And now we shall ride the ride. So, yes, enjoy the ride on Thanatos.